Well, this is the third time I'm trying to do this here. Hope I can do this. Hope I can do it right this time. Okay. I have a topic today that, I don't know, a lot of people don't want to hear about. I don't really want to talk about it either. I never really want to talk about it. But I'm going to because it needs to be done. Today I'm going to talk about depression. And why it's so hard to talk about depression, at least for me. I know people will hide it behind just about any other topic. And often it's soon revealed that the topic that is the problem is the depression, the underlying depression. It lies behind everything. I mean, it can. It doesn't mean it has to. I've dealt with depression most of my life. That's not to say I've been depressed all the time. And I've had periods where stuff was really good, where I was happy, I'm always positive. That's a tough thing about depression. You can be funny and happy and positive and still be depressed. You can have everything go right and still be depressed. You can have everything in the world given to you, not just given to you. You can earn anything out there and still feel depressed. This year, 2020, I feel like it's been designed to depress as many people as possible. It's like they put together this machine to instill depression in as many people as much as they possibly can. For what? I can't really figure that out. I don't understand the benefit in depressing everybody. There's a lot I don't understand though, and that's depressing. A lot of what gets me down is that I feel like I see things that other people don't see. I might not be right about everything, and I'm probably not right about everything. I'm probably not right about a lot of the things that I see. I don't know. That's the thing. It's all perspective, I don't really know where to go with this. I know this needs to be talked about, and I know people don't like talking about it. So, as tough as this is going to be for me, and as tough as this is going to be for other people to hear, especially right now, when I'm just starting out this channel, the people that are watching it are people that are close to me, people that already know me. It's funny that it's probably easier for me to talk to strangers about this. People who I'll never meet or never see or never even interact with. On some level, they're imaginary. That's depressing too. I remember back in the late 90s, I did some internet dating. And it was mostly just flings. It's mostly just me experimenting with actual strangers because I was too shy around people I knew. And I remember meeting someone really special and always feeling like I was imaginary to them. She changed over the years to accept me more and more, but I always felt like there was this, because we met on the internet, and I guess there was a stigma to it back then. I don't know if you've been around long enough to know that the early internet, there wasn't even, I remember the personal ads didn't even have pictures. So that's how long ago this was. It was tough being imaginary. And I never felt more imaginary than at the end when she broke up with me. I don't know if I've ever felt more depressed. That was definitely a low point for me. As far as like, you know, if you've been depressed for any long periods of time, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's times when it hits you like, or it's just painful, like you're being stabbed. And then there's other times where it's just like a dull ache. You know, like, I don't know, like a sore throat or something. You know, it hurts, but you know, you can deal with it. You can go through life, the motions, emotions. I generally consider myself to be a pretty upbeat person, at least outwardly. So this might come as a surprise to some people who think they know me. I rarely ever show people the real me. I feel like if I did, maybe nobody would want to be around me. I mean, I'm already practically a hermit. So pushing away even more people is probably not the best thing for me. I felt that sting of depression for a lot of my life. I've even felt suicidal at points. Not to the point where I really thought about ending my own life, but where I felt like there were actions I could take to ensure that I get to keep going on, and actions I could take that probably hasten my demise, and my health being certainly one of those things. It's strange how, you know, I think one of the reasons that they say that life is a test is because so many choices have multiple outcomes, and that, you know, you're depressed, so you cope. Maybe that coping mechanism is unhealthy. It often is. I mean, there are definitely healthy ways to cope with depression, but there's a lot more unhealthy ways to cope with it. The way I've mostly coped with it is by overeating or just eating. You know, I've definitely gone through periods where I overate, where I ate too much. I've also gone through periods where I barely ate anything, but I ate the wrong stuff. And I've gone through periods where I did everything right. And I tell you what, the hardest thing to deal with when you're depressed is when you feel like you do everything right and it still falls apart. When you give it your all, when you push yourself and you still get kicked in the teeth and you still get pushed down and you still feel like shit. It's tough. Often I'll spend a lot of time doing things just to distract me from how I feel. Lately I've been feeling pretty good. But the strangest thing about feeling good when you've been depressed a lot is you start to worry about the depression coming back. Now, isn't that some shit? Having anxiety over the lack of depression. Like, okay, things are going good. When am I going to get knocked down a peg? Or, you know, when is this success going to come back to haunt me? Because it's happened before. I've had times where I put in everything I could, where I put in all of me, every last bit, and it still wasn't good enough. Where I sacrificed myself, and it didn't make me feel any better. And I've gone the other way, where I've been about as dark or evil as I possibly could be, as shitty to other people, as selfish, and that doesn't help me. I mean, that didn't help me either. You know, I've tried just about everything. And I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with what I'm able to see in this world. When I was growing up, I mean, I've always loved to draw. I always tell myself I should draw more. But I got to tell you, a lot of the times I'm scared of what I draw. I'll draw what's in my subconscious. I've learned how to let it just kind of spill out. And, it's mixed in with some conscious thought. And I can do very conscious art too. But there's something weird in my subconscious. There's some lens that I can see through that other people can't, or I can see the evil in this world. And I used to think I wanted to be part of it. One of the jokes I tell people is, oh, I know I'm going to hell. At this point, I'm trying to get that corner office. Now, that's mostly a joke. I've had other periods of my life where I was practically a monk. Sacrificing wealth and notoriety to help others create, to be an advocate for creativity. And a lot of that's because I feel stifled in my own creativity. But I feel like I can recognize the talent and the struggle of others, and I have a knack for alleviating that. I guess that's on some level, I feel like I can see and feel depression in others. And that's rough. I've definitely I've definitely had waves of empathy come through my life at different times. At other times I've felt cold as stone. Those times when I'm feeling the empathy, I tell you, I can feel others' pain and suffering. And I guess sometimes I've thought that by helping other people with their problems, that it would help me with mine. And I don't know, maybe it did. I don't know what kind of help I need. I don't think there is help for some people. I mean, and maybe I'm one of those people. Like, I just have to feel good. And there's no amount of talking or therapy or drugs or roller coasters or any kind of thrill ride that's going to make it go away. You can't manufacture happiness. I think it has to bloom, like a plant. And often I find myself stuck in the middle of winter. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess it's telling that winter is my favorite winter is my favorite season, favorite holiday. My favorite holiday used to be Halloween. And I'll tell you exactly why. It was the candy and the monsters. That'll tell you a lot about me right there. I love candy and monsters. I've often felt like a monster. Having such a grotesquely deformed body. Though I will admit, compared to other people that have to deal with leprosy or amputation or fire or whatever, I'm pretty well off. But that doesn't hide the fact that I'm never comfortable undressing, that I don't want people to see my body ever. That's depressing. I mean, I guess I could go through a list of all the things that depress me, and all that's going to do is depress you. And all that's going to do is make you feel sorry for me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. Please don't feel sorry for me. I've learned to adapt, and that's one of the great things about human beings is we adapt. And one of my adaptations is I have done everything I can to turn this depression into creativity. I have done everything I can to turn this around and make art out of it, to help uplift other people, or just even to help uplift myself. When I can create something out of this shit, It it does help. And often I'm left with nothing but that, where it, I kind of have to be creating stuff or I'm going to feel like shit. I don't know what that's about. I'm a very restless person. I'm also a very leisurely person where I like to relax and think and think and think and think and think and think. It definitely gets me in trouble. Overthinking. I mean, overthinking is probably the root of most of my depression. So I don't know. I'm not really here to give you any advice. You know, the last couple of videos I've done have been, oh, don't do this, don't do that. I don't have any advice for you. I don't even think you should talk about it. Everybody says talk about it. Find someone to talk to. I don't know if that's right. I know people are going to see this video and they're going to try to talk to me about it, and I'm not going to want to talk about it. Please. Don't try to talk to me about this unless I try to talk to you about this. That's another thing. People like to insinuate themselves sometimes, and that's fine. I understand people wanting to help. I understand people wanting to care. Often it's like you just got to deal with this stuff on your own. You got to find your own path. You know, you got to figure out your own way out of the quicksand. And you know, I've figured out how to not sink any further. And I've gotten one foot out of the quicksand before. I might have even gotten both feet out briefly, but there's still sand on me. You know what I mean? And I'm still worried about stepping in again. Sometimes that worry is worse than the actual quicksand. Well, I don't really have a conclusion here today, guys. I don't even know I don't know how far I got with this. I really just wanted to open up a little bit. This isn't easy for me. I'm usually a very private person. You know, in the year of masks, I usually am wearing a mask to hide the real me. So I thought it would be interesting to do a video where I actually take it off. This is me with no mask, guys. Real me's not that funny. Unfortunately. Still witty. It's not that funny. All right, y'all, look. Don't blow your brains out. That's about all I've got for you. Try to do something with it. Try to turn it into something good. If nothing else, just hang in there. Life's a beautiful thing. And when it's over, it's over. And that's all you got. There's lots of cool stuff out there. There's so many things you've never done, never seen, never experienced. Just try to do that, I guess. All is not lost. There's always love, if you can find it. I love you. And I mean it. Good luck.